Yes, all we can say is a luta continua. We continue, we go on, we keep on going. I don't even know what language that is. I'm sure it's Spanish or French, somewhere around there. I'm sure that'll be correct. But look at this start. I think this is a very good start, where you just have to focus on maybe trying to get something from the beginning. Like I always say, work with your instinct. Look at how you feel when you're playing the game, and you concentrate on things like when are you going to cash out and what is your target. You see, at times you go over 10, yes, it works, and then you go over 15, you pick out your 3k, and then the network is there for you. When it's your day, it's your day. What can you do? It gives me an extra 3k, that makes it 6k, and then at 50x 50.98 it goes. But the thing is, there had been actually a huge drought before this. There was a huge drought of pinks. There was no pink. And I totally understand when someone says there was a sea of blues when I played, and especially when you're playing with that balance that is a very small balance, or maybe when maybe you've been playing for quite a while, you end up just losing it all. You see, you'll be seeing the history in a short while, and then you can just see how bad it was. It was really, really, really bad. As you go, I was just reading some of the comments and trying to respond to the comments as much as I can. And it's unfortunate, I don't know, for some reason, there are certain comments that I don't see on time. They don't appear, I don't know, for some reason. I only then see it maybe a couple of days later, or a couple of weeks later in some cases. You just realize that, no, I didn't respond to this one. So I always try by all means to respond to every comment. And every comment there, I know there are questions, there's stuff that needs to be addressed. But most importantly, what I want to tell you is the answers that most of you are looking for are there in the videos. I'm really, really sure those that have been following really understand what I'm saying, because one thing that I've realized is when you check the video itself, I always notice that there are people that just jump from the beginning, they just check in the middle, and then they just go to check in the end. I'm sure they're just looking at the balance, how much has it increased. But there's a lot that has been said, right? And this much will impact your game, will help you. Right, how I know that this person might have not. Okay, that's the history that I was talking about. Look, there was no pink. It's only that pink, the 50.98, that came through. Before that, it was really bad. But anyway, I was talking about the videos that I'm posting and the information that is within them. You'd actually notice that someone did not really get to watch the video, because whatever you'd have said inside the video, they'll be asking you the same question about that. You understand? So they'll ask you, so what is your strategy? Yet I've been speaking of strategy all the time. Or maybe they ask you, so what's the best time to play? But if you check in the videos, I've always said that, and I keep on saying it. If you just go and watch the videos, you see it might help you. In fact, in most cases, it just doesn't help you, it also helps me. Because change of strategy, sticking to a strategy, playing around with stakes and stuff like that. I've always said, even the timing itself, I've spoken about timing, and people always ask me, so when do you play? But I've always said it, and I've always said it in many videos, and I've said it more than 10 times, so that is actually the proof that some don't really follow, but then we'll ask questions like that. So, but anyway, it's all the same. We try to do the best we can so that we can at least benefit. We at the end get profit, and then maybe we walk home smiling. But one thing that I would love to tell most of the players is, look, if you do not want to lose, the best thing for you is not to even play at all. I mean, that's the only way it's guaranteed. So this thing is a risk. It is a risk, and a big one for some reason. Maybe I'll explain it in that way. It is a huge risk. Why? Because the chances of you winning are probably about 20%, if not less. But that's why it all lies back onto maybe things like the strategy, the timing, especially the timing, right? Over and above timing, we also talk about your guts, right? Your ability to hold when it's time to hold. Because I'll be honest with you, if every Aviator player was to be honest with you and tell you, they'll tell you they got to a point where the game was paying, they just didn't realize it, and they just didn't believe it. It came and it went, and when you look into the history, that's when you actually realize that, oh, it was actually a happy hour. Just like someone asked me a question and said, can you tell me something, Aviator Pro? When is the happy hour? How do you tell that this is going to be a happy hour? And I'm like, no, I also don't know, to be honest, because I don't have anything that will help me to predict other than my common sense. The thing is, for you to know and realize that it's a happy hour, you only say it's a happy hour after you look at the history. That's when you start looking at the number of pings that came through. You're like, oh no, this thing was giving. But unfortunately, in most cases, it might have given you a happy hour, but you might have not even collected anything because you're just picking up the small ones and maybe you just don't know how to anticipate, or you go opposite. Because there are indeed times that you feel like the Aviator is really reading your mind, because it starts paying, it starts giving pinks, and then that time that you think you're going for a big one and then it doesn't, it gives you a small one, and then you think, oh my goodness me, what should I do? Okay, on the next one I'm going to pick a 3x. When you pick a 3x, it gives a 50x, something like that. It's all about instinct. It's just your instinct, to be honest. So you see, in this case now, I let it go to 20x, an extra 1k. I'm very happy, you see, because I'm believing now the pinks are going to start coming. Yes, it did come. I took it at 20, 20, 24. There's nothing as satisfactory as getting it so close like that, almost getting the maximum possible. You see, 4k instead of 4.8. That's not bad. No complaints at all. But as Aviator being Aviator, it keeps collecting 1.12. It collects and then it also gives you back the money, and this game is all about distribution. It distributes the money. It distributes the money that the guys are playing, the ones at the top and the ones at the bottom. And what I will be honest with you about is, if you study it, you realize that the ones at the top are the ones that get all the money, and rarely do you get the ones at the bottom getting big money, unless otherwise they also play and hold for a long time. Right, let me give you an example. So if someone is staking 2,000 Rand on top and 2,000 Rand at the bottom, if he collects the first one at 5x, that's 10k. And then if he collects the next one at 15x, that's 30k. So in total, he would have made a profit of 26k. When I go down to the bets that are being played at the bottom, the 2 rands, the 10 rands, the 20 rands, and all that stuff, if I'm going to add them up to come to 26,000, because that's where the money is coming from. To be honest, it doesn't come from it itself. It only redistributes money amongst players. So you realize that only a single person has taken 26k from all the guys at the bottom. That means your 2 rand, your 4 rand, your 6, your 10, your 20, and even into the hundreds. Because all the money starts making sense when you get into the hundreds, the 200s, and all the way. But anything maybe around 10 rand and something like that, in most cases, that person that is staking 2 grand is the one that takes all the money. So it's actually a very good thing. That on the other hand, there are times that the big multipliers come, or maybe there are times where the blues come in, and then the person with the most money is actually losing, because every time they play 2k stake on the top and then the bottom, you realize that they'll be losing 4k a round. If it happens that he goes 10 times losing 4k, that means they would have lost 40k. And that means when the big multiplier comes and this guy chickens out very quickly, the ones that are at the bottom can wait for 3000x and collect all his money. It's a game of distribution. I'm being honest with you. It's a game of distribution. But as you can see, this game is not actually paying. And this is real. As you can see, someone spoke of patterns and stuff like that. I'm not a person of reading patterns, but all I do is I check I just check and just use common sense. And I'm just like, okay, fine. It hasn't been paying. And well, let me just come in and then let's see if I can get something. And when I come, I just expect that something big is going to happen. But then look, there's one time I remember I played very well, got into the 40s and took my break, took my I ended my session and just decided I'm going to play very soon. When maybe after maybe an hour or two. So I did exactly that. I respected that. And then when I came back, I started playing. I opened up, I checked, I see 40, 50 rounds, no pink. And I'm like, ooh, goodness me, this is the time. Let me get in and jump into it. So I jumped into it, started playing. I played on and on and on and on and on, no pink whatsoever. The highest it gave was probably an 8x. And by that time, I was ignoring everything because I was just thinking, maybe, just maybe, I can just get into the pinks. Maybe I can get a big pink. Maybe I can get the first one on maybe 30x, and then the next one I can get it on 50, 100x or more, depending on how I feel, you know. So yes, I tried that, and unfortunately, you won't believe it. To my dismay, it just finished me from 40k all the way to nothing. Because I was expecting. So that means the prediction is actually going wrong, because no one really knows what is going to be the next one. It's just about anticipation, and that anticipation is the one that really guides us to say, okay, this is how I feel at this moment. I anticipate a pink. If it doesn't, maybe the next one. Or maybe at times there are situations where I've seen a couple of pinks and I just thought, I think it's the time to walk out. When I walk out and I just come back again 5 minutes later just to check, I see it even paid more. And I'm asking myself, why did I actually come out? So it's always really, really difficult. But all you need to do is to gather the guts. You gather the guts and then you can start playing. Like this guy was saying, I would love to play like you. Yes, you can play like me already. The only thing that was my response. I even said, well, you want to play like me? Yes. But then the thing is, you're already there. The only thing that you don't have is the belief. Because once you believe that you can get there, then definitely you will be able to get there. So I'm still just hanging in there, just thinking, checking if something is going to happen, because I had a very good start. To be honest with you, there are times that I've always expressed my thoughts to say, at times when you walk in from the beginning, you realize that you just walk in and then it pays. At times your session might be a few seconds long. Like for instance, the first time that I got that, I think it's about 7k profit, I would have just walked away immediately and not just toil around, because now of course I've got 16. I'm 2k down from the money that I started with. The first profit that I got, but I'm just hoping maybe I get there again, maybe up to about 1620. Then from there I can be able to maybe log out and then end the session there and then start again, right? And if you check the history, you'll realize that it had not actually been giving anything much above 5x. I can see now it gave a 608 before the 383, but in most cases it was giving a 4.4, 4.6, 4 point something. Hence you saw the past couple of rounds I picked up a few 4x's as opposed to a few 5x's, because at times it really does that, and you'd always think, like anybody would, that this thing is actually reading my mind. You see, 4.16 I collected, but then what does it do? It just continues, because I thought maybe I wouldn't even get that 5x, but anyway, it got there. I wouldn't have lost much, but if it goes before 5x, then I would have benefited. So there I am targeting 15x. I get another 3k, and I'm so happy because now it's time to leave, and then I'll see you in the next game. Thank you.